Hey, what's up guys, it's Bluzie here. Recently I've been playing a lot of Runescape and I've really been enjoying it. I've been doing a lot of professions and all kinds of really cool stuff. So I've decided to start a series called Fishing with Bluzie, where I'm going to be discussing stuff about gaming, stuff about my life stories, my personal life, and just some shit I've noticed on the internet recently. Anyways, without further ado, let me begin. Alright, so I guess for the first episode I should probably talk about how I got into this game. And to be honest, I never really cared too much about RuneScape. I never saw it as something that I'd be necessarily playing. And over time, I've kind of taken a look at it once or twice on YouTube. Occasionally I'll run across a video of it. And eventually, I got bored one evening, and, since it was free to play, I decided I'd give old school RuneScape a shot. And admittedly, when I first tried it, it was boring as fuck because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But the reason why I kept coming back at it is because here in Seattle, where I live, there's a huge Latvian American community, and many of the people I knew from the old country would come over here, and they'd be still playing RuneScape and everything, and it was always fun just to kind of speak in my own native language and be able to have that connection that I didn't necessarily have, having grown up in the United States. And I guess having that family life along with, my own life, it kind of had a space where RuneScape could kind of fill, so then I could have both sides of my world. And as I started playing, I started, finding out what I wanted to do and everything, because every sandbox MMO, you'll find a profession or something you want to do. With Guild Wars 2, I enjoyed cooking, which it's not a sandbox game, but who cares. When it came to BDO, I really enjoyed fishing in this game. Fishing is just something I can do while I'm working on a video, whether I'm working on my paper, even when I'm watching a movie with a girlfriend, now that the game's out on mobile. And that's pretty cool for me, at least, so I've been really enjoying that. I've also, been trying to get through all the quests and everything. Slayer Music 1, this dude on YouTube, who I guess has been around forever, he did all the quests and everything, so I followed through on all the free-to-play quests and everything. And I don't know, the quests feel original. They don't feel like, hey, I'm gonna go kill 12 spiders, then come back to me and get your measly loot that means really nothing, and why in the hell are you really doing these quests? It doesn't feel like a WoW experience. And for MMOs, it's kind of a nice, I guess, touch on the past. And hell, this game's even growing, so hell, it might even be the future again. So, who knows? But the community was also really helpful, as when I was getting in, reading the Reddit for 2007scape, watching one of these YouTubers named, was it Theoatrix? Congrats on 100k, by the way. There were so many tips, so many tricks, all these 1 to 99 guides, all this kind of stuff, that while it is a ton of information, did allow me to get my head around it, and ultimately made me really enjoy this game. Because I've been really enjoying this game, and I don't really know any other way to put it. There's also an obvious opening by the developers for the community to really put their 2 cents in, with the polling booths out in the banks and stuff. To me, I haven't seen that in a game before, and that is something that really just made me go, whoa. And, you can say that that's a whole gimmick and everything, but you have to have a semi-experienced account to be able to go to these votes and then figure out what you want in the game. And the players get a vote, and as long as it gets 75%, then it passes and makes it into the game. And I think this is one of the best ways that developers can do updates, as for so many games I have sat there and had a developer, oh, hey, we're going to implement this update, and specifically in WoW, oh, hey, we hate that, or hey, this DLC sucks. And I think this is an excellent way for the community to take a look at RuneScape 3 and go, well, that sucked, let's not vote for it, and then go, oh wait, this actually was really good, let's add this into old school RuneScape, and essentially rewrite the history of RuneScape, which is one, a fantastic business idea for Jagex because they're building a game that they know that they'll make profit on because the community is voting for what they want. They're recouping losses from RuneScape 3, and the community gets a game that they all like. And on top of that, you can even pay for your membership with in-game cash, and I'm certainly a large fan of that. As you know, I don't have money to come around every month or so. Did I buy membership? Of course. I like this game. I feel I should support it. You know, why get me going? Hey, you could have done the level 3 to get a bond guides, the millions of guides there, but frankly, I want to play RuneScape at my own pace, and I feel it's also necessary to make a small cash, I guess you call it, donation. But either way, RuneScape with the bank pins, with the polling and everything, with a large community that helps you. Like if I have to ask for something, someone's gonna answer. Someone's gonna help. You don't have to sit there and beg on the side of the street because you know that if you ask someone, someone's probably gonna answer. And the best part is, when I've done this, I've gotten into multiple discords where I've had people help me when I'm like going, okay, well, what should I do? They show me a guide. Okay, here's all the quests you should do to get your levels up real fast. Here's stuff that you should be doing. Here's where you should be grinding. Here's what you should be doing. And to me, that's almost like bliss. It's almost like a bliss for me because it feels easy enough to get into, but complex enough to the point where I'm interested in doing more. This is interesting to me because as I've said before in previous times, I used to play games like Dota, which is admittedly burned me out, and while complex as it is, I'm just no longer interested because it was just the same grinding over and over. When it comes to RuneScape, that grind somehow goes somewhere. I played World of Warcraft where every DLC is the same shit over and over and over. Versus RuneScape, you feel like you're constantly progressing, even as you move forward in like just one level, or you're moving forward with doing bosses and everything. I always felt that I was moving forward, and I think that's something that old school RuneScape has that not very many MMOs have at this point. Even Guild Wars 2 doesn't even hold a candle to that anymore, as their recent DLCs, while fun, I just don't feel that I'm progressing. And RuneScape has also been kind of interesting as I've had to grow up from being a measly little tiny teenager who could play World of Warcraft for 4 hours a day after class. I have less time as I'm now working. I'm heading off to college soon, and I have all this, and you have to keep up your grades. You have to have all this paperwork in, and plus, I have some life issues, and I just had surgery. I just had my wisdom teeth pulled out and everything, and so I was kind of coughed up on all of that. But RuneScape is a game that I can, for like fishing or smithing or something, I can simply hop in for 15 minutes, enjoy a little bit of time, and log out. And I do enjoy that. I do enjoy a game that I can quickly get in and out of, but has enough complexity to the point where I want to come back and do more. And I think that's going to be something that's going to probably stick with me as I'm going to be moving off to some of these colleges. Also, one thing that I do enjoy about this game is it's very international based. I could play with people almost anywhere, and many of the people that I met and that are currently on my friends list who have helped me are not from my same continent. Since RuneScape, I guess, is simpler, there's less of a kind of a huge ping problem. There's a lot more of international communication, and with me constantly traveling and everything, it's a fun game. And I don't know how else to put it. So, when it comes to RuneScape, I think I'm here to stay. Because even with my life getting, more busy, I definitely see myself sitting here and playing the game as time goes on. And with the growth of the game recently, I can see this game sitting around for many more years. Anyways, guys, I'm going to just quickly move on to the section just about me, Bluzie in general, and just shit that's been going on in my life. So, first of all, I'm Bluzie. I'm about 17 right now, and in a few days I'm going to be switching over to being an adult, being 18, and essentially living my life. And I live in Seattle and everything, and I've been applying to colleges and shit, trying to keep grades up and everything, and I've finally been trying to pursue my goal of doing casual YouTube. Do I plan on making money off of any of this? Nope. I don't plan to do really shit. My goal, be here, play some Runescape, make some friends, eat some snacks, chill, and yeah. So anyway, basically, and outside of, trying to start up YouTube and everything, I've been applying for colleges. For any of y'all who have ever done that, y'all know it's pretty stressful because, you gotta hit the deadlines. There's a lot of paperwork you gotta do. You gotta federal student loan applications and stuff. All kinds of documents and everything that you have to fish out of the backwaters. And I'll be honest, it has not exactly been easy, but I'm pretty happy with what I got. I've applied to many colleges, and most colleges don't get back to you until the spring, and right now, we're just beginning 2019. So it's we'll see what I get back, but I've already had 2 colleges get back to me. First off, the guys who got back to me first, Montana State. I'm gonna be going for a marketing degree probably there if I go. They got these great facilities and everything. I'm gonna be going out there in February. I'll probably make a small video on it, and yeah, I mean I really like it. It looks like a small town, kind of expensive, but being part of the Pacific Northwest and having lived up here for so long, I'm so used to the kind of naturey scene, and that college seems pretty cool and everything. Just very cold, of course. And second of all, I got University of Alabama. So, Roll Tide. They got back to me and I got my acceptance letter, so I'm pretty happy about that one. I know it's a bigger college and everything, and I also applied for marketing, and woo, I got in there. I'm very happy about that. However, it's on the other side of the country, so we'll see what happens, but very happy about that. And yeah, most of my colleges will get back in March, and maybe if I get into like one of the really cool ones, I might make a video on that. And yeah, my parents were both UC graduates, after defecting, and they kind of hope that I will go, because my family who was here and immigrated here a long time ago also went there, so I'd be like, what, 5th generation in UC if I got in. So I kind of have that little pressure on me, but at least I know I'm going to be going to college. Are the student loans going to kill me? Oh, hell yeah, they are. But you know what? I'm just going to take pride in the fact that, after, pissing away my high school years, finally put myself on track. Trying to do something good instead of sitting behind a gaming monitor all day and, I don't know, having an acne-ridden face and everything. Yeah. So I've been really working hard recently, and I got into some colleges with some teeth. I got taken out, so my jaw still hurts like hell, and hey, my voice may even sound different. I'm also a little bit quieter because of it, because again, my jaw's so stiff and everything. But yeah, I'm having a pretty good day, and I don't know, I guess I'm just doing good. Anyway, let's move on to the next section. So at the end of every one of these Fishing with Bluzie videos, I'm going to be sharing a small little life story, just something fun for us to all laugh at the end of this, whether, the topics are serious or funny or whatever the fuck it is. So anyways, I'm going to be talking about a small story back when I began my studies back in Japanese, and just kind of talk to you guys about just some fun stuff about my life, just so you guys can kind of get to know who I am. So when I began high school, I went to this very affluent high school. A lot of rich people went there, and of course here I was, the poor kid who wore the same damn clothes for like a whole week. Did I wash them? Of fucking course I did, but I didn't have a lot of clothes to pick out an outfit with. So I began Japanese because back in middle school, when I also had the chance, my parents forbid me from doing Japanese because my father did it as his major, and it was too hard for him. And so he just tried to spare me of the pain and had me take French instead. Turns out I didn't like French. I didn't even like the teacher. I learned Québécois. I didn't learn real French. Now, admittedly, that might be too controversial. Wait for the demonetization. Either way, I decided I would go and learn Japanese. So in my freshman year of high school, I began in a Japanese 1 class. Very simple. You know, you learn basic writing, basic hiragana. For those who don't know, that's the basic alphabet. So about 2 weeks in, we learned that this teacher is pretty fucking strict. She's straight out of Japan. That should be like a movie or something. But basically, she wasn't really adapted towards American high school culture, American teenagers or anything. Like, small shit she would get pissed off over. And you guys know that strict teacher who's like, did a pencil just drop on the floor? That's a detention. You know, one of those kinds of teachers. Fucking bullshit. Anyways, so about the second week, we kind of figured out that there's always like a trouble period with each class. And the trouble period was the period right before me. Japanese was the last class of the day for me. It was period 7, which meant I was fucking tired. Anyways, so the period before me would get into all kinds of shit before that. You know, they'd be texting on their cell phones like, you know, regular high school kids do if they're not interested in your fucking class. And they'd be writing stuff on their paper. They'd be passing notes, all kinds of shit. I can't even believe people pass notes these days. But either way, my point is, eventually one day, a bunch of guys were kind of screwing around. They were, you know, writing on each other's papers. And one kid draws a dick. I've never seen a teacher flip out so hard. And keep in mind, this wasn't even when it actually happened. This was an hour after it happened, back in the next period. So anyways, so we come in, the teacher is just sobbing her eyes out. And we're like, what's wrong? And she could barely speak English. So being Japanese, one students, we don't understand very much Japanese. And she's just talking and talking and talking and talking. And then eventually she goes up to the board and writes it in Japanese because because it's obvious that we don't understand. So some kid pulls out the Google Translate camera photo thing, like, you know, you can point your camera at it and it just points out the name, and it basically says someone drew a penis and everything, and she flipped out. What happens is, I'm like, man, I want to get out of this room. It's fucking uncomfortable. I walk out of the room, go to the bathroom. Of course, you know, she gets pissed off at me, but it's like, I don't give a fuck. You know, you're crying. Either way, I go out, and some kid from the last period is sitting outside the door. And I ask, yo, what happened? And apparently, this chick broke a ruler and everything, all kinds of stuff, because some kid drew a fucking dick on someone else's paper. All kinds of shit. And she's just sobbing her eyes out. Eventually what happens is, 2 kids are goofing off in our class. They're playing a game on their iPhones, you know, together. They're playing the beer pong game. Or something. And she figures this out. She flips out and literally takes both the kids' phones and finds her canteen of like tea and stuff and just pours it over them. You could hear the ooh from all the way down the fucking hall. Next thing we know, she either wasn't allowed to come to the class, or she just didn't show up for a week. Because for the next week, we had straight sub after sub after sub. And for those who don't know, most time the sub doesn't speak the language. And this kind of shit repeated on for like the entire year. So when I made it on Japanese 2, I had less knowledge than kids who had prior experience in other schools or anywhere else, making my class, my first year in Japanese, pretty freaking difficult. As sometimes, they had like scheduled tests. Like you'd have tests on Unit 5 that had to be done on this day, except she hadn't shown up for like the entirety of Unit 5. So, kids would have not good grades, and then she'd go, "You guys do not have good grades." It's like, no shit. You could show up maybe, at least every Monday, and, maybe I might be able to, get a decent grade on the test. But, long story short, I had to deal with her for 2 more years, and then she got fired. Thank God there is something called Duolingo and a Japanese tutor. Anyway, guys, that's going to be all for just kind of an odd story about my life and shit. I hope you all are having a good day. Have fun fishing. Peace. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of my first video of fishing with Bluzie. We might be doing different games, all kind of stuff. But, I know it's a very kind of crude put together and everything, but, I'm hoping that eventually I could take this series somewhere, just have a lot of talking, kind of trying to connect with all you guys. And, yeah, I hope that I can improve my editing and everything, maybe improve on not stuttering on the mic and everything. As I guess some of you guys may have seen, maybe on some of my previous videos, I do have a problem with stuttering, especially when I'm talking, because my mind starts racing whenever I start talking, so sometimes I lose what I'm going to be saying, or maybe I talk just incredibly fast. So I'm going to be trying to improve on that kind of stuff as time goes on, and yeah, anyways, I hope you guys all stick around for the next video. Subscribe if you want. I'm not a cop. I don't force people to do shit. But, yeah. Hope you guys all have a great day. Peace.